In early 1945, the peaceful island of Okinawa became the final battlefield of the Pacific War. For Japan, Okinawa was a breakwater intended to delay the Allied invasion of the mainland. The Japanese military implemented a brutal strategy. The entire population must fight to the death. To ensure loyalty, the government launched an intense brainwashing campaign against its own citizens. Civilians were taught that American soldiers were demons and monsters who would commit unspeakable atrocities. It is better to die with honor than to live as a prisoner of the enemy, the propaganda stated. This ideology of Gyokusai, or shattered jewel, glorified mass suicide as the ultimate act of patriotism. As the American fleet approached, the Iron Rain of naval bombardment began. Over 500,000 shells were fired, turning the lush landscape into a scorched wasteland. Okinawan civilians, including women and children, were forced into damp, dark limestone caves. Inside these caves, the Japanese military lived alongside the terrified populace. The soldiers reinforced the fear, claiming that surrender would mean a fate worse than death. When the US troops finally landed, the battle became a chaotic struggle for every inch of soil. The Japanese military used civilians as human shields, preventing them from surrendering. In some cases, the Japanese army distributed grenades to families, instructing them to blow themselves up. Kill your family first, then yourself, were the horrific orders given to many. At Chibichiri Cave, 83 people, mostly from the same families, committed suicide together. They used kitchen knives, ropes, and even stones to end their lives in a state of mass hysteria. This was not always a voluntary choice. It was compulsory mass suicide, forced by the military. Survivors later testified that Japanese soldiers directly ordered or coerced the killings. The tragedy at the cliffs of Itoman saw hundreds of people jumping to their deaths. Mothers threw their children over the edge before jumping themselves, believing they were saving them from monsters. Paradoxically, the monsters they feared were the ones offering food and medical aid. Many civilians were shocked when American soldiers treated them with unexpected kindness. But for many, this realization came too late, as their loved ones were already gone. The Battle of Okinawa resulted in the deaths of approximately 200,000 people. Nearly half of those casualties were Okinawan civilians caught in the crossfire. The Himeyuri students, a nursing unit of teenage schoolgirls, also suffered immense losses. They were forced to care for wounded soldiers in horrific conditions before being abandoned by the military. When the order to disband came, many of these girls committed suicide, believing they would be raped or killed. The Japanese government's refusal to surrender prolonged the suffering for months. They saw the Okinawan people not as citizens to be protected, but as disposable assets for the empire. Even language became a tool of oppression. Okinawan dialects were forbidden as a sign of potential spying. Those who spoke their native tongue were accused of being traitors and were often executed by Japanese soldiers. This betrayal by their own nation left a deep, unhealing scar on the Okinawan consciousness. After the war, the truth of the forced suicides was suppressed for decades by official histories. Textbooks tried to remove the word compulsory, painting the suicides as acts of voluntary heroism. However, the survivors fought back, sharing their testimonies to ensure the world knew the truth. The military did not protect us. They were the ones who killed us, they cried out. Today, the cornerstone of Peace Monument in Okinawa honors all who died, regardless of nationality. It stands as a silent witness to the dangers of extreme nationalism and military fanaticism. The story of Okinawa is a warning to the world about the power of state-sponsored brainwashing. It shows how easily fear can be weaponized to turn a population against their own survival. We must remember the victims not as statistics, but as individuals with dreams and families. Their voices remind us that the greatest casualty of war is often the truth. The peace we enjoy today was bought with the blood of those who had no choice. To honor them is to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again on any shore. May the spirits of the 200,000 find the rest that was denied to them in life. Let us learn the lessons of Okinawa and choose the path of humanity over the path of fire. For the sake of the future, we must never forget the shadows of the past.